Sedekah House take this 200,000, and this 200,000 need to be invested. Only the profit can be distributed outrightly to the project, to the campaign. Bank Islam, we don't charge any administration fees, management fees on the donation that we receive.
Alhamdulillah.
So Bank Islam absorb the cost, OPEX of managing the Sedekah House.
The headcount and everything.
The headcount,
covered.
everything is under Bank Islam. Number one, the Islamic banking institution must embrace the philosophy of doing social finance. Number two is actually once Islamic banking institution decided to participate in social finance, they have to add value to the existing ecosystem.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Saya Makta Abdullah. I'm Makta Abdullah, CEO of Asas. Welcome again to the next series of Asas, Very Asas podcast, where we share very basic information, very introduction, very principal matters that are pertinent to the Islamic finance industry. I'm sorry about my voice. I maybe sounds different today, but inshallah, I will honor the guest that we have today, Mr. Zikri Shairi, the Director for Social Finance Division from Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad. I think he is more famous and the team are more famous when people try to relate to the IT card initiative of Bank Negara Malaysia as regard to the product called Sedekah House. Sedekah House is so-called a new brand name for Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad. So welcome to our session, Ustaz Zikri. We've been trying to have this maybe for the last 1 or 2 years, but everyone are occupied.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Haji Mata, for having me today.
Okay, we will try our best to go straight to the topic as a warm up. Maybe for local audience, Sedekah House, Atikat, and also the similar initiative by the other 10 Islamic financial institutions are quite known or well versed in Malaysia. For international audience, for international bankers, can you share a little bit about what is Sedekah House and the beginnings of Sedekah House? Is that? Thank you. Carry on.
Yeah. Thanks, Haji Mata. Thanks again for having me. We have planned this for 1 or 2 years. Alhamdulillah, today we have miracle to have this kind of session, inshallah. Sedekah House actually started from the speech of Datuk Dr. Abdul Halim Ismail Almarhum, the first managing director of Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad, when he received the Royal Award in during the Global Islamic Finance Forum, if I'm not mistaken, in 2014.
Okay.
So in his receiving speech, so he mooted about the idea of having one institution called as Sedekah House.
Okay.
And he envisioned this Sedekah House as the institution that manage the philanthropic fund in a well-governed institution, so that the impact can be amplified towards the target market. So this is where in 2014, one team of researchers, so they approached Datuk Dr. Abdul Halim Ismail and sought her permission whether or not they can do the research, the feasibility study to on the idea of Sedekah House. So this is where the Sedekah House started.
Okay.
So the research has begun in 2014 until 2017. A lot of colloquiums, presentations, papers has been published. And also, if I'm not mistaken, there are 2 reports published by this research team.
Okay.
And this research team was led by Dr. Latifah from University Islam Selangor.
Okay.
She is currently the Deputy Vice Chancellor, for the University Islam Selangor. And Alhamdulillah, in 2018, Bank Islam became the off-taker of this feasibility study. So in a way, we commercialize the research outcome of the Sedekah House by this research team. And we launched the Sedekah House in January 2018 during Carnival Celik Kewangan Bank Negara in Alustar, Kedah.
Okay.
So the hometown of Datuk Dr. Abdul Halim Ismail
MashaAllah.
during that time. And this from 2018, Sedekah House actually started with very humble beginning. It become like the typical charity crowdfunding platform, meaning to say that we have a few campaigns, few charity projects, and we listed in our platforms.
Okay.
So donors, they can choose and they can donate to that specific projects or campaigns. So along the way, from 2018, we started to receive donation from the donors that give mandate to Sedekah House. They said that, okay, Sedekah House take this 200,000, and this 200,000 need to be invested. Only the profit can be distributed outrightly to the project, to the campaign. So this is where we think that this is another innovative model of the Sedekah House. So from there, we started to have one fund. We call it as perpetual fund.
Okay.
So we take the spirit and the example we learned from the cash wakaf. So this is where we started with the 200,000, and during the COVID, we received 4 million from the institutional donors. So from there, we start innovate again. So this is the evolution actually of the Sedekah House. So from a typical charity crowdfunding platform, we have the perpetual fund, and the perpetual fund at the beginning meant for the typical charity, but in 2020 during the COVID, that 4 million that we received from one institutional donors, but the mandate given to us is to be distributed that amount by way of microfinance.
Okay.
So this is also where we started the Qardul Hasan Aitakat Bangkit microfinance.
Oh, mashallah.
And Alhamdulillah, I think this is where, when I did my reflection, this is how Islamic Bank can address some of the concern by the public, where they said that how come Islamic Bank cannot give a 0% loan,
Yeah.
right, to the borrowers,
Yeah.
in that sense. So Alhamdulillah, I think because of we are now relying on the alternative funding, where the fund is actually the sadaqah, we have no credit risk to bear on the capital provider, on the depositor. And Alhamdulillah, we can show this is how Islamic Bank can do the 0% lending, but the source of fund is by way of the sadaqah,
Sadaqah.
the alternative fund.
Okay.
So that's how it evolved from 2018 until now, 2025.
Okay. I was looking at the presentation. I was looking at the recorded issues on Sedekah House, but throughout the finding recently, maybe last week or last 2 weeks, someone came and talked to me over coffee, because we were talking about something else, and all of a sudden he asked, Haji Maktar, is it possible for the money that have been sedekah to Bank Islam or Sedekah House, and from there, to his understanding, there are benefit directly or indirectly taken from that money. So to him, if 200,000 is sedekah, 200,000 supposed to go directly to the receivers, right? So that is a normal general understanding about sedekah. So how different Sedekah House and normal sedekah, if you can clarify that on the concept.
If people scrutinize the research report published by University Islam Selangor in 2017, that report has been published by University Islam Selangor during the World Islamic Economic Forum in Kuching, 2017. I still remember, I was not in Bank Islam yet at that point of time.
We were not.
We
We were still in.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they launched that report, and the feasibility study, actually there are some dimension of the research has been done by University Islam Selangor, from the research perspective, from Syariah perspective, from taxation, legal structure, and I forgot another one dimension.
Yeah.
But there is also the research on whether or not Sedekah House can make money or can have income from managing this kind of fund.
Yeah.
So that research come up with the proposal that Sedekah House can charge or can take a small portion of money to bear for the OPEX, operating expenditure.
Yeah.
But Alhamdulillah, from 2018 until now, when Bank Islam started the Sedekah House, Bank Islam, we don't charge any administration fees, management fees on the donation that we receive.
Alhamdulillah.
So Bank Islam absorb the cost, OPEX of managing the Sedekah House.
The head count and
The
everything
headcount,
covered.
everything is under Bank Islam. So yes, that's the thing. But sometimes when the donors, they use some of the payment gateway. So that's the payment gateway that will charge
Okay.
the transfer.
Necessary charges.
Yeah. So 100% of the money that people donate to Sedekah House will reach to the
Okay.
beneficiaries.
So throughout our lifetime, when we were young, I mean when I was young, I never had an opportunity to have a dream of to become Islamic bankers. Unlike the younger generation, they can put Islamic banking or Islamic capital market
Yeah.
as one of their ambition that they want to be. So mainly, we have gone through a situation whereby we serve the purpose of meeting the needs between the surplus of fund and also the people who have deficit of fund. But now, I think Sedekah House come in a different form. Surplus fund from the philanthropy to the, not to say the deficit fund, people are also the needy, I would say, right?
Yeah.
So the needy now that need the money on Khadrul Hassan, that always has been an issue. When people talk about Islamic finance, they will also compare Islamic finance also take profit, Islamic finance also have collector, Islamic finance also blah 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 blah. Hopefully this will differentiate Islamic finance further from the conventional. Ustaz, from your experience, throughout your experience in Sedekah House, how basically Sedekah House has evolved? You mentioned about the perpetual fund. I was told about there are general fund, there are direct fund, or can you clarify on that, Ustaz?
Yeah. So I think if I can echo from what Haji Mata has mentioned just now, Sedekah House, I think we established Sedekah House with a very solid foundation, whereby we really fall back to the Quranic verse, Yamhaqullahu riba wa yurbi sadaqat. So riba and sadaqat has been mentioned side by side, right?
Yeah.
So it really put our team in very clear compass actually in navigating the Sedekah House. So throughout the evolution, actually when we started in 2018, there are three types of fund.
Okay.
We have the direct fund, whereby donors will see all the campaign and they will directly donate to that campaign or projects.
Yeah.
We have the general fund, whereby the donors, yes, they saw the campaign, but they don't. They cannot decide. They cannot
don't
decide
choose anyone.
which part is a priority,
Okay.
which part they like
Yeah.
more. So they cannot decide, and then they donate through this what we call it as the general fund.
Okay.
So they give mandate to the committee. We have one committee.
Oh, okay.
We call it as Sedekah House and Zakat Committee.
Okay.
So this committee will do the decision making to channel this general fund to which project that more priority in that sense. And we have the perpetual fund. However, Haji Mahta, in 2023, 2024, we intensify our fundraising, fund collection efforts. We meet with a lot of funders, with corporates, the institutional philanthropists, and we learn something that people don't easily understand about these three types of fund.
Okay.
So because we need to elaborate, and they need to see another layer of that fund. So what is actually this fund is doing? So it's difficult for us. So what we did 2024, we do refinement on the classification of funds. So we have 5 classification of funds.
Okay.
If you can see in our
Annual report.
this Sedekah House
2024.
Impact Report 2024, there are 5 type of funds actually.
Okay.
So we have the anchor fund, we call it as Sedekah House Orphan Fund.
Okay.
So this Sedekah House Orphan Fund, we target for the orphans,
Yeah.
and 50% for the benefit of the education and the infrastructure of
Okay.
the orphanage,
Okay.
and another 50% we will invest this type of fund.
Okay.
And our aspiration in the future is once we have a sizable fund size for this orphan fund for the investment, we will use this investment portion to fund the social finance financing instrument.
Okay.
For example, like what we have currently with Kedah Zakat authorities, we do hybrid funding for the salary asnaf to construct a house on their own land.
Okay.
So the hybrid funding behave 50% portion from the zakat and another 50% from the personal financing of the bank.
Okay.
So the salary asnaf only have to pay the financing portion.
Okay.
But that financing portion is actually funded by typical depositors fund.
Okay.
So moving forward, we want to replace that depositors fund with the Sedekah House Orphan Fund. That Sedekah House Orphan Fund that will fund this kind of financing model.
Okay.
So that's number one, Sedekah House Orphan Fund. We have the Entrepreneurs Growth Fund that focusing on the entrepreneurs, whether for their microfinance, grant, as well as their education and the training for these entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So we give emphasis on the entrepreneurship development because we understand that this segment we must handhold after we channel the fund to them.
Okay.
That's second fund.
Okay.
We have the education fund. So education focus on the education for this segment. The kids, we have some orphan students. We have also collaboration with Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia, Ministry of Education, and so on. Just to ensure that our kids, especially from the poor families, from the B40 families, they can enjoy and can benefit the quality education in our country.
Okay.
And we also have the fourth fund, that is the social impact benefit fund. This is we cater on the healthcare, on the environment, but it's not the main focus for Sedekah House.
Yeah.
And last but not least, currently we launched the Marginalized Group Benefit Fund. The Marginalized Group Benefit Fund, we focus, for example, for the undocumented children in Chokit. So
Okay.
this is where we work together with Buku Jalanan Chokit.
Buku Jalanan. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
The
okay.
education at the upper levels of the building being funded by Sedekah House partly. And also we set up the one restaurant at the ground floor of the building with the projection so that this restaurant later can generate decent income and can provide or channel their fund for the operation of the Buku Jalanan Chokit.
Okay.
And we also recently as well, we work together with Pertis, the Association for the Muslim Blind People.
Okay.
We want to relocate their office or their operation center from Brickfield to one building, Perkim, Menara Perkim.
Menara Perkim.
Yeah, and we want to bring all the blind people there for the education, for the activities, for the Quranic lesson classes, and so on there. So that's how we refine on the fund arrangement. We try to understand some donors, some corporate, they wear the hat of the impact investors.
Yeah.
So they want to understand the types of fund, like they understand type of funds in investment, right?
Yes.
So this is fund is for environment, for example, clearly for them to understand.
Yeah. If I can recall back, you mentioned about the migration from 3 grouping of funding, perpetual, general, and specific, now going into entrepreneur growth fund, Sedekah House Orphan Fund, education impact fund, social benefit fund, marginalized group benefit fund. Yeah, I like the idea that you mentioned earlier that you have in the community a specific community, zakat and sedekah community, right? Or committee that look into the management of the fund. I think this is also one of the issue that differentiate sedekah house from normal sedekah.
Mm.
Normally when you give sedekah, you don't care. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, you give and you don't care.
Tawakkal ala
Tawakkal ala Allah for whatever reason. But along the way, you would feel that you wanted to know the impact of your sedekah to the people that you have given. So you may wish that you don't see that guy or that children again
Mm.
in the future because you have contributed something. Can you share a little bit about the scope, the function that this zakat and sedekah committee are doing, just to make sure that the sedekah funds are really transparent with a proper disclosure and of course proper evaluation on the type of fund and also the amount that that will be involved. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Before answering that question, Haji Mata, let me bring you throwback to 2018
Okay.
when we started Sedekah House. The first challenge is how to put proper governance
Yes.
on Sedekah House.
Yes.
And we did extensive research. We learned that some countries like United Kingdom, Australia, and even our country, our neighbor country, Singapore,
Yeah.
they have the Charities Commission. And
Okay.
this Charities Commission, they have very proper governance
Okay.
for the charities industry in their countries. So from there, we learned that yes, we have to somehow learn from this model.
Yeah.
So we must ensure that the Sedekah House has been established with the very solid governance,
Yeah.
so that the transparency, the trust,
Yeah.
and whatnot, we can tell to the public
Yeah.
on that how their fund or their donation is managed under Sedekah House.
Okay.
So we set up the Sedekah House Zakat Committee, whereby Sedekah House Zakat Committee is answerable to our Syariah Supervisory Council.
Okay. Now,
And
makes sense.
that's the committee.
Yeah.
We also make compulsory for our internal audit to do audit every year on Sedekah House. We just completed recently the audit exercise, and our internal audit division is finalizing their report.
Yeah.
And also we publish this every year.
Okay.
Since 2020. We publish this Sedekah House Impact Report from 2020 until now, 2024, already 5 reports.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot has been improvised,
Yes. Yes.
and a lot need also improvement
Yeah.
from year to year.
Okay.
So, and Sedekah House Zakat Committee, along the way, they give oversight on the all activities of social finance
Yeah.
within the bank,
Yeah.
how the Sedekah House is managed, and even every project that we want to do the disbursement, there are some approvals needed
Okay.
from the Sedekah House and Zakat Committee
Okay.
in the bank, just to ensure that the fiduciary duty of Sedekah House towards its donors, towards its funders,
Okay.
is taken care properly according to the corporate governance, perhaps.
Okay.
Yep.
So I saw the financial year report of 2024. The disbursement amount is 15 million. The income fund is about 22 million. And it goes through the categories that you mentioned.
Yeah.
I'm sure if one bank, or maybe now I think there are about 11 banks who also participated in
I
ITCAD,
take it. Yes.
ITCAD initiative, there could be around maybe 70 million. I don't know about the total figure of the whole 10 institution. Candidly, why not all financial institution involved in this kind of Sedekah House model? What are the challenges?
Actually, I have observed not that it's not about challenges, but
Okay.
I think the factors. If one Islamic banking institution, they want to really trailblaze their social finance,
Okay.
whatever name they want to
Yes.
name it, Sedekah House, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, there are 5 critical success factors.
Okay.
Number 1, the Islamic banking institution must embrace the philosophy of doing social finance.
Okay.
I learned, I read the report of setting up Bank Islam in 1983. and the report quoted the Quranic verse kaila yakunu dulatan bainal aghniya minkum, the philosophy of having Islamic bank to ensure that among others, to ensure that the wealth is not only circulated among the rich people.
Yeah.
That's among the intended objective of having Islamic bank. Elimination of riba is I think that's the natural of Islamic bank.
That by default taken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the higher purpose of having Islamic bank. So we have to embrace the philosophy of having social finance. That's why we repeatedly mention about yamhaqullahu riba wa yurbi sadaqat, just to ensure that that's really in our heart.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not to show to the other people that Islamic bank is doing another good things,
Yeah.
but it's actually part of our strive in Islamic finance.
Okay.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two is actually once Islamic banking institution decided to participate in social finance, they have to add value to the existing ecosystem.
Okay.
There is existing ecosystem. We have state Islamic Religious Councils. For example, in the context of Malaysia, we have the non-profit organizations. We have the government agencies that take care of this segment. We also have researchers, universities, and whatnot. But the Islamic bank in that ecosystem cannot replicate and cannot compete with the existing players in the ecosystem.
Okay.
Must add value.
Yes.
Must leverage on our expertise in leveraging fund, mobilizing fund, managing the fund, investing the fund, and amplifying the impact of the fund.
Okay.
That's number two. Number three that we have to do is in terms of the synergy among the key stakeholders. Because in social finance, the game plan is different as compared to the typical commercial finance or banking itself. Bank, we compete each other, right? Sometimes we hunt for the same target segment.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Sometimes you offer almost the same product that others are offering.
And then we compare in terms of the financial indicator, the profitability, the net income margin, the cost to income ratio, and whatnot. However, in social finance, the game plan is totally different. The winners is actually the beneficiaries.
Okay.
Those who receive our fund.
Yes.
We are not competing with each other among the players. We are actually complementing each other.
The impact. Yeah.
We can pull the fund together. For example, in the industry, Haji Mata has studied about iTakat, My Zakat among the IBIM members bank, right? Yeah. So we pull each other fund. And also we have iTakat Ishraf of SME Bank.
Correct.
Some of the corporates together with Bank Islam and few other corporates, we pull our fund.
Okay.
Yeah, with the same targeted segment.
Correct.
So that we can really amplify our effort to uplift the socio-economic level status of this segment. Number four, the most importantly is to measure the impact.
Okay.
And the impact measurement in social finance is not just by way of getting how much we disburse and how many people that we already take care.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
We have to measure what are the impacts to the livelihood of our fund recipients.
Okay.
What are the benefit and the betterment that we already created for the family of the fund recipient, for example, and also the what we call the communities itself. So that's why I think recognizing this, Bank Negara, when we have some of the report submission to do to Bank Negara, and one of the dimension that we measure is the job creation.
Okay.
So this is also the impact to the communities. And last but not least, for the Islamic banking institution to trailblaze the social finance is having the action-oriented leadership.
Okay.
So the leaders must buy in. The leaders must cascade down the aspiration and for the working level to execute the social finance with the wholehearted embrace seeing the philosophy of the social finance.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of our first section for Very Asas with Ustaz Zikri from Sadaqah House Bank Islam. We know that Bank Islam no longer talking about the normal function of bridging between the surplus and the deficit fund. Now we are talking about the philanthropy and also the needy. We also know that now the measurement for social finance is no longer the increase of share values, the increase of the asset size of the financial institution. When we have the component of Islamic social finance, the measurement of the success for Bank Islam, for Islamic bank in general, could be different from the conventional bank. We will come back on our section 2 later on with more deeper and also comparative question to Ustaz Zikri, as well as for the benefit of a wider audience of very asas, insyaAllah. Stay tuned. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.